So I've owned the Tesla Model Y now for over 6 months. So today I thought I'd do a deep dive into the ownership experience. I've owned only German cars for the last 20 years or so. I had the Mercedes CLK, I had an Audi A4, A6, then the Q7, the BMW 6 Series. So I'm going to be comparing this car to some of the German rivals and other luxury cars on the market, which I've owned in terms of long term. Also a lot of comparisons to the Audi Q7. Both of these are kind of SUV family cars. This is of course not, comparing in price to the Q7, but there's going to be some comparisons in there. So if you guys are interested in buying the Tesla Model Y, then this video is definitely going to be for you, because we're going to deep dive into the exteriors, the interiors, the practicality, the performance, the software, which is fantastic in this car, as well as the day-to-day, charging and, maintenance of this car. So let's get into it. Now, I actually think that the Tesla Model Y is probably one of the best looking Teslas. I mean, that's my opinion, of course. The Model S looks fantastic as well. But compared to the Model X, which is in their SUV lineup, I think that one looks a bit more like too rounded. This one has more of a sporty appearance for sure. It's got the coupe styling, which you see in something like a BMW X6 or a Mercedes GLC coupe or something like that. It looks slightly bigger than, say, an Audi Q5 or a Mercedes GLC, at least from the outside, because of its shape. And I love the coupe styling of it, which I think makes it have one of the best designs of any Tesla. I mean, the Model 3 looks great. All the cars actually look quite nice, except in my opinion, the Model X. So if you want a Tesla SUV that looks nice, the Tesla Model Y is the one to get. Now, I've done multiple modifications to the car. These black rims, the red calipers, you probably get them with the Tesla Model Y Performance, but I've upgraded this because mine's the long range. And I've also added the sports spoiler. That's similar to the one that you get on the Tesla Model Y Performance. Now, I did a whole video about all the modifications I've made to the car, but apart from that, in terms of exterior, there's not much modifications that I've done to the car. This carbon fiber mirror cover as well doesn't come standard, but otherwise I think the car looks great, especially from this angle, from the side angle. It's quite sporty looking. It looks kind of in line with something like a Porsche Macan or something like that. Like, it's quite a good looking vehicle. Let's have a look from the front. Now, compared to most other cars, one thing you'd notice immediately with the Tesla is it doesn't have any air intake in the front, because it doesn't need it. It's an electric car. I love the way that the lights look also in this car. The Model Y Performance and the Model Y Long Range come with matrix LED headlights. So these have individual LEDs all across, and they can very precisely control the direction of the light. So if somebody's coming from the other side, it'll dip that side of your lights, as well as when you're cornering, you can see the light changing. It's quite a cool feature, and Tesla also emphasizes that with the light show that they do in this car. It's pretty cool. I like the way that the front looks as well. I like the shape of the lights, and of course, you have the Tesla app, which allows you to control everything on the car, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But you also get access to the front, which is quite a reasonable size space. I mean, it's not amazing, you can't fit too much in there, but in a backpack or your laptop bag or some cables that you want to keep in here for charging, this works amazingly well for that. I wish it was power operated though. Like, this thing needs to be manually pushed in. Now, the rear of the Tesla Model Y, I think adding the sports spoiler really adds more separation to the car, makes it feel like a bit more tight at the back. If you don't have this, it does have a bit of a spoiler lip, but definitely the sports spoiler gives it a little bit more of an aggressive look. I don't like the way that the rear LEDs look. I don't know, they look a little bit old school. Like, I wish they had a bit more of some design elements inside the actual housing over here. It's not bad, it still looks good, but I think it's one of the weakest aspects of the Tesla Model Y in terms of design. Now, the boot is great. There is plenty of space in here. You get a lot of space considering the size of the car. Let me just show you guys. There's plenty of deep space over here to pull all your stuff. Like, this whole thing fits in the side over here quite comfortably. It's velcroed as well. Stick it to the side over there. It doesn't move around. You've got a full you know, like extinguisher in here, and it fits quite well. On top of that, you also have this additional space where you can see all my cables, but this is bigger than the front in the front side of the car. So there's no extra wheel in here, but just look at all this space that you get. Now I fit about 3 huge suitcases in here quite comfortably, but anything more than that, it's not going to fit. But I would say there's plenty of space compared to most cars that I've owned. Like, this is beyond that, except for the Audi Q7. The Audi Q7 is massive. You can fit quite a lot more in the Audi Q7, but you know, this is the next best thing. If you look at the top portion of the car, you'll see that it's all blacked out. I love that look. It makes it look really cool. It's a whole glass roof on the top, and it looks amazing. It feels amazing from the inside, but right now, because it's summertime, I just can't handle the sun beating down on my head, so I've put a cover in there for now. But from the exterior, the black roof looks awesome. So that's the looks of the Tesla Model Y. I really like it. I think it looks amazing. Color options as well. Like, I got the white. I actually had booked a black car, but then when I saw some on the road, the white actually looks the biggest, and that is why I decided to switch my color to white. It was a cheaper option as well. And also the paint, you get like a better paint quality on the white version than the black, which actually costs more. So I would suggest either going for the white or red or blue. Those two colors, you know, they do add quite a bit to the car, but like, those look really nice, with especially with the blacked out trim on the Tesla Model Y. But I really am glad that I got the white color. It's easy to maintain. Also, it matches perfectly with my white interior, so let's go have a look. Now, one thing that you immediately notice when you get into this car is the white interior. Every single person who sat in the car has loved it. It's fantastic. I would definitely recommend going for the white interior. It completely changes the look and feel of this car. You get this white strip on the dashboard as well, which looks great. Let's talk about the build quality real quick. Like, I've owned, as I said, mostly German cars. And you know, from all the things that I'd heard about Tesla cars, like their build quality being weak, it's not really the case. I'm quite happy with the interior over here. Like, you have some nice suede material going on over here. Plastics that you can touch are all nice quality, like the dash and even the sides over here. Like, I often put my hands up here when I'm driving, and it's quite like a soft material plastic, and you know, it's all nicely done. You know, there are a few places where it's not quite at the premium level as the German cars, but overall I'm quite happy with the car. Like, this is the 2023 model, so they have done a few things to make it look nicer. I like that they have like this Alcantara style, you know, all over the car. I did put this carbon fiber look in the middle as well, which I think enhances the look of the car. Like, the gray plastic that you get on top over here isn't great, so I've covered all those gray plastic bits with this carbon fiber wrap. Overall, I'm quite happy with the fit and finish. Like, yeah, some things like the sun visors, the doors feel great. Like, you know, I love this button that you just have to press to open the door, and you know, when you close the door, it's got a solid feel to it. The new cars, this 2020, I think the 2022 model onwards, has like a double pane glass. There is some amount of road noise that comes into the car. It is more significant than my Q7 or my 6 Series was. Of course, those are really high-end, you know, German cars. This definitely over 130 kilometers per hour, you do feel the wind noise. But, you know, overall, I'm quite satisfied with the build quality of this thing. The back seat is a little bare bones, but the front seat, what you get is nice. I've installed an extra screen as an accessory over here, which gives me CarPlay, maps, navigation, and you know, heads-up display for my speed and things like that. I think that should have been included with the car. You know, a car at this price without a front instrument cluster, I think Tesla should rethink that. You know, I know what they're trying to go for, like the minimal interior look, which is cool, but you know, I think it's a required thing. Like, you know, I don't want to have to look over here every time I want to see what speed I'm going. Even though this front display is the masterpiece of this interior, everyone who sits in this car is immediately impressed by the quality of the screen, how big it is, the way it displays, the resolution of it, the colors, the vibrancy, everything is really, the whole interior is kind of centered around the screen, and they've done a really good job with the screen. The steering on this thing also feels nice and chunky, like it's one of the better steering wheels I've felt. It's really soft and nice, and I like that they have the minimal buttons on this. Like, these scroll wheels can pretty much get whatever you want done, and everything else is done on this beautiful screen. Let's talk about driving the Tesla Model Y. Now, I wanted to get a sports SUV. Okay, that's why I was looking at the Macan. Otherwise, I'd have to get something like a Porsche Cayenne, which was out of my price range, or something like a Mercedes GLC AMG, which again is like 100,000 dirhams more than this car. In terms of performance per dollar that you're paying, or performance per dirham in my case, like, this thing is fantastic. Every person who sits in this car and I do the acceleration, thing for them, they are immediately impressed by the performance on this car. And it's fast in the sense that it's 0 to 100 in 4.5 seconds, which is really fast for most performance cars. Like you would see like a Mercedes GLC 43 AMG doing something similar, or a Porsche Macan Turbo might be getting a little bit faster than that. This is not the performance version. This is the normal long range version. The performance version goes to 0 to 100 in 3.5 seconds. Now, in retrospect, with the prices coming down, with the Tesla Model Y performance, I would say go for the performance. I should have got the performance in the first place. The extra range that you get from this, the 10 to 15% extra range that you get from this, I don't know if it's worth skipping out on the performance, because on the performance you get better brakes, you get better suspension, like sportier suspension. This one's a bit more comfortable. You get the 0 to 100 in 3.5 seconds. Now, I can upgrade this car with a software unlock and bring down the 0 to 100 by 0.5 seconds to around 4 seconds, which is insanely fast. Like, I don't think I need it. Like, this is plenty of performance for me in terms of daily driving. You find it extremely enjoyable to drive and very quick. So I think a lot of people have spoken about the performance aspects of the Tesla Model Y. Of course, it's great. But the other thing that I really enjoy about this car is single pedal driving. Okay, so currently I'm driving this car. You guys can see this view of me driving. I am not touching the brake at all. Okay, so I'm just pressing the accelerator. I'm just pressing the accelerator and releasing the accelerator. The car slows down automatically. Now, if you guys haven't experienced single pedal driving before, the experience is very similar to a manual car. Like, say when you're in first gear, and when you hit the accelerator, you get a lot of acceleration. When you leave the accelerator, the car pulls back with engine braking. That's exactly the same thing that you get with the Tesla Model Y, but it's even smoother than that, because the car is automatically giving you braking based on your speed. So if you're at a very high speed, the braking is going to be more subtle. If you're at a very slow speed, the braking is going to be more intense. So that is what I really enjoy about driving this car, because you don't have to keep switching pedals to drive this car. It feels a lot more like how a car should be driven. I also find it more safe, because like, if you are as soon as you leave the accelerator, the car is slowing down. It's not coasting like other cars. You can make it do that if you want, but that's going to defeat the purpose of this, because it has two purposes. One is to regenerate your battery. So every time you're accelerating, the battery is getting depleted. But when you leave your accelerator, it's actually using engine braking to slow down the car and replenishing your battery. So you'll actually get more range because of this. It's a no-brainer. Leave on this feature. It might take a little bit of getting used to. Like, I got used to it within, like, say 20-30 minutes. But if like my wife took a little bit longer to get used to it. But once you get used to it, you really miss it on your other cars. Like, when I drive the Q7, I feel like it's not as good at braking. Secondly, the way the car handles. Now, this is not a light car. It's quite a heavy car. It's almost 3.5 tons. So that's very heavy, but you don't feel it within the car. Like, when you are taking, say, a quick turn, you're taking a sharp turn in this car, like, you don't feel the weight of it whatsoever. Especially with 1-foot driving, what you're getting is a very controlled experience in your corners. So if you're going too fast, you just let off the accelerator a little bit and you get that braking, and then when you're at your apex, you hit the accelerator again, you get that full instantaneous acceleration. It really feels fantastic to drive. That's what makes the Tesla really fun to drive. And when you hit the accelerator, you get all the acceleration you want. So this car, for example, is 0 to 100 in 4.5 seconds, right? And my BMW 6 Series was 0 to 100 in about 4.2 seconds. It was really fast, but this car feels quicker. And that's because all that acceleration is happening earlier in the torque curve or in the acceleration curve. So your 0 to 50 is way faster than it was on the BMW 6 Series. Now, after 130 kilometers to 140 kilometers per hour, that acceleration dies off. That's one of the things about electric cars. They don't have the high-end speed or the accelerator or the high-end torque curve that my BMW 6 Series had, at least in this car. You know, maybe the Tesla Model S might be much better because that's got a higher top speed, but you don't really drive that often at that speed range. Yes, the BMW would destroy this car from, like, say 120 to 180 kilometers per hour. The BMW is way faster. But where you really enjoy most of the time driving a vehicle in like the 50 to 60 to 100 to 120 kilometers per hour range, this car has all the performance you want. So you know, it's a really fun car to drive. I really enjoy driving it. Mamta enjoys driving it as well. I've had performance cars in the past, and you know, this is probably one of the best cars that I've driven in terms of pleasure. The other aspects of you know, the Tesla Model Y, it's a really comfortable car as well. Like, it doesn't have the harsh suspension that my 6 Series had to, you know, get that kind of performance in the corners and things like that. Because of the heavy batteries in this thing, your center of gravity is very low. So you get really good cornering capabilities without the harsh ride. Now, I've heard the Tesla Model Y performance is a bit harsher than this, but I'm very happy with the comfort factor of how the suspension feels for the most part on this car. From what I heard, it's been revised in the 2023 model. You get a better suspension than you did in the previous versions. And the 2023 model also has double pane glass, which insulates the sound a little bit. At lowest speeds, under 100, 120 kilometers per hour, you don't really hear wind noise, but after that, you definitely do. Like, definitely compared to my Q7, which I've taken at 180 kilometers per hour on the highway, you barely feel anything in that car. In this car, you will feel that speed, but still quite comfortable, like, compared to most cars, right? Like, it's very nice. It's silent. There's no engine sound whatsoever, which is a pro and a con. Like, I really enjoyed having the, you know, sound of my 6 Series, you know, the engine growl and the little exhaust note that you get. It really makes you feel more connected to the car. But in this one, you get like this electric whine, which is also quite enjoyable. Like, and more the feeling of the instantaneous torque is what gives you the driving pleasure of this car. So yeah, fun to drive, comfortable, you know, nice for your rear passengers as well, like in terms of comfort. Like, there's no real issue in that sense with this car. Like, fantastic. Other aspects of driving this car on a day-to-day basis, the AC is pretty good. I wouldn't say the best. Like, now it's summertime, like, because of the glass roof, which I've removed my top panel for this video to mount this camera. But like, you do get quite a bit of sun coming through over here in Dubai, where it gets extremely hot. So you know, I've covered it up during this time, and that does help with the air conditioning. I also have this screen installed in my car, which kind of blocks my AC vent a little bit, because the AC is integrated into the dash. Like, you don't see any AC vents in this car, which you can manually adjust. It's all done by the screen, and it's a thin slit from the dashboard over here, which allows the air conditioning to come out. So because I have my screen, it blocks my AC a little bit. But yeah, the AC is good. It's not amazing, it's good enough, and I would say even for the Dubai heat, it does its job. So far, you know, like, I thought if it's going to be really bad during the summer, I'll remove the screen during the summer, but so far I haven't had to. And another great aspect of the air conditioning system in this car is that it will automatically turn on if the car gets too hot. Because this car doesn't have any you know,
engine or anything that needs to be running for the air conditioning to work. Like, it can turn on the AC whenever you want. Like, you just open up your app, you hit the air conditioning button, the car will put on the air conditioning. So I usually do that 5-10 minutes before I'm going to get to the car. If it's going to be a really hot day and I'm going in somewhere for like 20-30 minutes, I can even leave the air conditioning on in the car while I go in. Like, you can lock the AC, and even when you lock the car, the air conditioning will stay on. It's got dog mode, which uses the same concept. It leaves the air conditioning on in the car so that the car remains cool. And that especially that automatic feature where it will it's called cabin heat protection mode. When you turn that on, the air conditioning automatically comes on over 35 degrees. So the car always stays cool. It helps protect the car from the inside. So that's a great feature. So overall, the air conditioning is quite good. Like, because of its smarts, maybe it doesn't have the same cooling power as like a Nissan Patrol or a Land Cruiser or something like that. Like, those cars have like really strong air conditioning systems. This one, not as strong, but because of its smarts, it's compensating for that with technology. So good enough, I would say. Now, my car is at about 34% battery, so I'm going to head to the Tesla supercharger. And when we get there, let's talk a little bit about the technology in this car, which is one of the best aspects of it. Now, this car's navigation system is so insane. First of all, it connects to your phone's calendar. So if you have any meeting or anything like that, it'll pull the address from that meeting and automatically navigate to the car if you sit in the car like half an hour to 45 minutes before you have to attend that meeting. It also knows where your home is and your work is, and it'll automatically start navigation to your home or to your work based on where you are. So if I'm in my office, it'll always navigate to home. If I'm in my home, it'll always navigate to my office. And then if I'm on the road somewhere outside and I just swipe down, it'll automatically navigate me to my house. Awesome feature on the navigation. So I'm just going to put in the supercharger at Haptur City over here, and it's going to navigate automatically, and also preconditioning my battery over here so that I get the fastest charge. So let's head to the supercharger. The game-changing feature about this car is the amount of technology it has for you when you're driving, right? So I double tap this and I'm in autopilot mode. You'll see that the car automatically steers for you, brakes for you, maintains distance for you. So it is a really strong system. Like, I've been using it for the last 6 months. I trust it. Like, if I'm driving on the highway, I'm using it all the time. And like, I don't have to hit anything, just watch the road, touch the steering every once in a while to make sure, like, so the car knows that you're there and paying attention. But this is a beautiful system. Like, it works really well. This comes standard with every Tesla. Like, you can even upgrade the system to enhanced autopilot, which will automatically do lane shifting for you and summon and a couple of other features, which I'm not really interested in because it's an expensive upgrade. It's like 14,000 dirhams for that. I don't think it's worth that amount of money. Actually, I haven't tried it. If they had a trial period, I would have probably given it a shot. But like, as of right now in Dubai, there's no trial period for these features. I'd love to try full self-driving, which is not available in Dubai, by the way. I had spoken about it in a previous video, but that was actually the standard autopilot that comes in the car. It wasn't the full self-driving. So I was mistaken over there. I didn't know about the Tesla stuff well enough, but with every Tesla you get autopilot, and autopilot is a game changer in terms of features, because like, it is the best automated lane assist, driving assist feature that I've used. I've used like some of the top cars, like I've tried Mercedes system, I've tried BMW system, maybe not in the latest S-Class, but this thing, considering the price of the vehicle, is top notch in terms of, this driver assistance feature. Like, I've been for long drives, I've been to Hatta with the car, and 80% of the time it was on autopilot and it performed amazingly. I haven't had any issues of phantom braking or anything like that. So I'm very satisfied with the autopilot system in this car, and it's just fantastic to drive. there's other little smart features in this car which I think are beyond what any other car manufacturer is doing. Like, for example, the visualization on the screen. Just have a look. You know, you can see like this car over here in front of me is showing up on the screen. It shows you a 360-degree view of all the cars around you on the road. So it gives you a very good idea. Like, this is the best blind spot monitoring system I've seen, where like this car is not visible to me right now in my mirror or my you know, I'll have to look this way to see this car, but on the screen I can tell that this car is like right next to me, and it gives you a very good visualization. And if you try to you know, move into a car which is, you know, showing over here as red, it shows you that that car's in your blind spot, and it'll even warn you and stop you from moving into that car because it's aware of that car. So very good blind spot monitoring system. I also really like the fact that you can see the camera, that whenever you put on the indicators, you can see the camera view over here to see anything in your blind spot. So very good safety system. Like, the Tesla is one of the safest cars out there. Like, it's got a 5-star rating in terms of safety. So, you know, that was one of the other reasons why I bought the Tesla, because I have a family. I have a 4-year-old who's sitting in this car all the time. I wanted to make sure that it's going to be safe and reliable. So Teslas are excellent in terms of safety, and they've got all the driver assist features that you'd want in terms of you know, keeping the car safe. One of the features that was lacking in the car when I bought it was ultrasonic sensors, so meaning no park assist. But since the car is since I've had the car, like maybe 2 months ago, they pushed a software update with Tesla Vision, which uses the camera system on the car to give you indication of your parking. Now, it's not perfect. I wish this car had you know, real ultrasonic sensors, because that would probably give you the most accurate reading. But it's definitely quite nice because it gives you a 360 view of the car when you're trying to park. So it's able to detect every angle of the car all around 360. So not just where your ultrasonic sensors are, but every single area. Like, the ultrasonic sensors are usually on the front and the back. In this car, like, you can sense all around 360 on the car. So very nice feature. Though I wish it was a bit more accurate and also included the ultrasonic sensors with the vision-based sensing. That would probably give you the best result. So another cool feature this car got after I bought it was the automatic indicators. So now the car is smart enough to automatically turn off your indicators when you change lanes and stop changing lanes. So if you're changing 4 lanes, it'll keep the indicators on till you get to the 4th lane, and then when it sees that you're driving straight for a while, it'll put off the indicators automatically. So Tesla is always adding all these little extra features continuously to the car. Since I bought the car, it's had maybe 4 or 5 major updates, including zoom in the car, Apple Music, this vision sensing technology that I spoke to you about, new voice command features. The number of features that they've pushed to this car since I bought it has been fantastic. Like, it's a little you know, like every time on your phone, when you get a software update, like, you're like, ooh, my phone feels new again. It's the same feeling in this car. Like, every couple of months they push out a software update and something or the other gets improved in the car, and it gives you that same kind of feeling where, like, you feel like Tesla is taking care of you in terms of the software. That's for sure. Another feature they just added was like shortcuts. So like, if I hold down my control button over here, now I can pre-program it to do something in the car, like turn on the air conditioning, or open the glove box, or open Spotify, or something like that. So it's really cool. Now, in terms of space, like, this car is also great. Like, I take 3 kids. We carpool, so I take 3 kids to you know, school on a regular basis, and we have 3 car seats in the back, 3 like boosters. They all fit well. The bench is slightly not wide enough, and the seat belt positioning is a bit incest in the back seat, so makes it a little bit difficult. I have to like put the seats in with the seat belts first in order to get all 3 kids in. In the Q7, it's a lot more comfortable to do that. So definitely not as much space as the Q7 in the back seat in terms of width, but because in the back there is no transmission tunnel going through the middle, there's a lot more space for the kids' feet to sit, so they feel more comfortable in the car seat. And every time I bring out the Q7 instead of the Tesla, they're disappointed because they all love the Tesla. They love the acceleration, they love the gadgets and the features and everything. So this car is a big hit with the kids. Also in terms of like in-cabin space, like you know, the center armrest is huge. Okay, like there's so much space to keep. Like I have a vacuum cleaner in here. I have, you know, multiple like I have a full device that's powering all the lights inside the car, which I've installed separately. I've got you know, like my access cards and everything in the car, and there's still plenty of space in the center console to put more things. So, you know, even the cubbies on the side of the door are huge. Like you can fit big bottles in there, and you know, there's no complaints whatsoever about practical space within this car, because you get a lot of it. I've done another video just about the charging aspects of this car, which, you know, is my only complaint really about the Tesla Model Y. Because I don't have charging at home, it really makes it a bit inconvenient that I have to go somewhere to charge the car every day. But I think if I had charging at home, I would blindly recommend the Tesla Model Y to most people, because it is a fantastic car, especially in its price range. When you look at its competitors like the Q5, or, you know, maybe the VW Touareg or the GLC, like this is, you get a lot in this car for the price, and especially if you like performance. Okay, looks like all the Tesla chargers are full right now, so gonna have to wait for a bit. All right guys, so just had another subscriber over here who also bought a Tesla after seeing my Hatha video, which is really cool. I wish he used my referral code, by the way, which will be in the description below. If you guys want to buy a Tesla, please use it. You get a benefit, I get a benefit as well, so it's like mutually beneficial. So if you are thinking of buying a Tesla, just use my code. It'll help us out both. But yeah, let's talk about the tech features now. So the infotainment system on the Tesla is absolutely amazing, okay? Like it's the best that I've seen in any other vehicle. You can almost see like a 360 view. This is the rear, these are the two side cameras on the car. You've also got all these apps that come with the car. Now the browser in this is actually fantastic, so it works really well. No matter which site you're going to, I think it's using Chromium, and it gives you a really nice smooth experience, just like an iPad. The phone system in this is also fantastic, and you know, it integrates with your messages and your calendar in your phone, so that gives you a really nice some nice convenience features in the car. You've also got Spotify, which I've been using a lot in this car. Like, so all the music, all my podcasts are all in the car, syncs with my Spotify, and all this works with the cellular connection in the car. The car always has a cellular connection, and you can connect to it from your phone anytime you want. So that's a brilliant feature in this car. Like every car should have it, where you can communicate with the car remotely. So we're using that, and the app, I can unlock the car, I can turn on the air conditioning, I can change some of the settings in the car, I can see where the car is. If Mamta's driving it, I get a real-time GPS coordinates on the car. So great feature, especially if you're sharing the car with somebody else, or you have older kids and you want to give them the car. Like, you can really track the car, see what speed it's at, you know, the works. You've also got extensive media capabilities in this car. So of course you have the arcade, where you have a bunch of games which you can play. My daughter loves playing on this screen. You know, she's playing the games, or we're watching something on Netflix. If you go to theater mode, you have full-fledged Netflix over here, and usually when I'm charging the car, I'm watching something on Netflix over here. It's really quick, there's no lag or stutter, it works really well. I had it in kids mode because, you know, I had Arya in the car a couple of weeks ago. But another fantastic aspect of this car is the sound system. It's hard to describe how good the sound system is, because it is one of the best sound systems I've used. Like, I've got the Q7, I've had the BMW 6 Series, but from all the cars that I've owned, like, just the richness of the sound system in this car is amazing. It gets really loud, the bass is fantastic. So even when you're watching a movie, you have a really nice viewing experience in this car. The screen is huge. It's very, you know, like even rear seat passengers can use it. The sound system is fantastic. So like, it's actually enjoyable to watch a movie in the car.
Since then, we haven't stopped, traveling to every corner of the earth. But our journey is just one of many.
So here, if you see, this is the keep mode, which allows the air conditioning to stay on even when the car is parked. There's dog mode, there's camp mode. So camp mode will keep the air conditioning on long term if you're spending the night in the car, which is really cool. You know, you've also got the toy box, which the kids really enjoy. So there's the light show, which is a nice little you know, thing to show the different features of the car. There's a boombox, there's the fart thing, which is kind of fun. You can compose music in here. There's the sketch pad, which Ari also enjoys playing on. So very responsive, very nice infotainment display. One of the best I've seen in any car. The whole widescreen display over here is really next level. Another aspect about Tesla ownership is this experience. You know, when you come to a Tesla supercharger, there's all other Teslas around. Everybody's in the same boat as you. So it really drives like this community feeling. And, you know, from all the electric cars, Tesla does have the best supercharging infrastructure in Dubai, in the US, in the UK, in most countries. They've spent a lot on building this super charging infrastructure, which allows you to charge a car really fast, which gives you that sense of confidence that, okay, no matter where I'm going, there'll be a charger over there. Deva's infrastructure in Dubai is also pretty good. Like, you know, they have chargers in most places, though not as fast as the superchargers. Like this supercharger, I've been here for 35 minutes. It's already at 83% charge from 35% charge. You watch one episode of a TV show and you're pretty much done with your charging for the week, at least for me. I'll leave a link to that other video I did about the charging, and you know, that goes into more detail about that. But definitely this community feeling is there with Tesla owners. You know, like people have done different modifications to their cars. There's a huge ecosystem of you know, different accessories for your car. Let me just show you this cool thing that I just got. So this is called the MacBack. Okay, I'll leave a link in the description. These guys sent it over to me, so I haven't bought this myself, but you know, really cool thing. 15-watt wireless charging on the car, and it's designed for the Tesla. You see, it fits perfectly over here, and it gives you a place. It aligns your phone with the screen. In fact, let me just install it right now. So this is the one, like this is called the MacBack. It's a customized thing that connects to your screen like this. Here you can see like how convenient this is. Like the perfect place to like swipe, use your phone. This is a really cool accessory. It's the perfect place to film yourself if you're taking a Zoom call or something like that. Plus it, you know, it gives you a lot extra screen real estate, and it doesn't cover any part of your screen as well. So really nice little feature. And they make all these cool accessories for the Tesla, specifically designed because now there's so many Tesla Model 3s and Model Ys in the world. And all the accessories are like common between them because both cars share about like 90% of the parts. So it's really nice that there's so many different accessories that you can buy. I used to own a BMW. I thought BMW had a lot of stuff, but Tesla by far has the most. It's just like having an iPhone, you know, like so many people have iPhones that loads of people make iPhone accessories. In the same sense, like because so many people have Teslas, and Teslas are the most popular electric cars in the world, and now the Tesla Model Y is the best selling car in the world, a lot of people make accessories for the Tesla Model Y. I think I've covered pretty much everything I wanted to cover about the Tesla. You know, fantastic car. Charging can be a little bit inconvenient if you don't have a charger at home, but apart from that, you know, like I'm extremely happy with the car, the performance, the interior space, you know, even the quality of the seats and things are very comfortable. And my only regret is that they dropped the price since I bought the car by around 20,000 dirhams, like $5,000. So great for all of you who are considering buying a Tesla. Now is a great time to buy one. Like it's cheaper. and you're getting the performance for almost the same price as I bought the Model Y long range for. So great time to buy the performance. So overall, it's a brilliant car. Like, I can't complain. I can see why Tesla's stock prices have reached where they have, because they've innovated in a couple of key areas. Like, the driving dynamics of this car are amazing. The software technology is fantastic. It's practical and comfortable, and it does feel like the next generation of vehicles that are going to come in. Like, most manufacturers now are producing electric cars, and I can see why. It's a better experience overall. So that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you're planning to buy a Tesla, please use my referral code. There's like a whole Tesla playlist if you want to see more videos about the Tesla. So if you guys like this video, hit that like button, leave me a comment, subscribe to watch more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.